y'all doing this evening? Welcome to the Rational Radical Show. Happy y'all with us every first and third Wednesday of every month. We're gonna have the Rational Radical. Me, brother Skip Coon, radicalism from a rational perspective, a rationality from a rationality from a radical perspective, or radicalism rooted in rationality. However you want to perceive it, that's how we see it. Again, I'm up in the hot office. I'm up in the oven. You know, I ain't got it like y'all central air and all that shit. I'm cooking, y'all. I'm cooking. And I ain't cooking like space guy cooking swag. I'm cooking like literally. I always forget how hot it gets up in the back room in the summers on the second floor, concrete building, on this old building on the south side of Chicago. So if I start to, if steam start coming off my body, it's not special effects because I'm in the hottest room of the house with lights on so I can get my shine on. So letting you know, can't hear me? Oh, sorry. I'm vibing to the music. I be forgetting how lame y'all is. I be forgetting. Y'all don't like when I set the mood for y'all. So let me just turn the music down. Because I be forgetting how lame. I try to set them. I try to pour y'all a little sippy sip, but y'all just want to get straight to it. Y'all don't want no romance. It's a nuisance. So y'all don't want no rhythm. Y'all don't want no, niceties. Fine. No background mute, nothing. You just want to get right to it. Okay. I don't know who raised y'all, but now music is gone. So anyway, initially, I was going to come on here and talk about the summer. I was going to come on here and talk about this summer is on track to be one of the hottest summers in recorded human history. Heat that surpasses our very capacity to respirate. Heat that gets so intense that your body's coping mechanism, physiological evolutionary coping mechanisms from sweating and perspiring begin to shut down, organ failure, and your mental faculties begin to degrade, the kind of heat that kills you. Y'all don't want to hear about that, though. It's summer. Tomorrow's my son, public school student, his last day of school. And we getting into summer. And I know we grown folks, we old folks, but we pretend. Because summer don't mean to us what it used to mean. And I remember me and my wife were working in schools, working with young people. So our schedule was on young people's schedule years and years and years ago. And we were running Green Teens and One Summer Chicago and post educational program and all that. My wife was teaching in the public schools. So summers used to be real for us. We used to summer like kids summer, but them days are gone. I'm busier now than I been, with obligations and travel and work. So I know summer ain't what it's supposed to be, but at least, even though we don't get the time off like we did when we was kids, we at least get the heat. We get the hot. And so you had Hot Girl Summer a couple of years ago, and then Chet Hanks. What did Chet Hanks call it? White Boy Summer the year after that. So we didn't had a Hot Girl Summer, and then Chet Hanks gave y'all a White Boy Summer. So me, and if Skip can get it together, I don't even know what summer means in Mississippi down there with Skip. It's warm year round. But anyway, we're going to have a hot radical summer. And I'm not going to tell y'all about carbon emissions and positive feedback loops and global warming effects, ocean acidification. I'm not going to say none of that. I ain't going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about the massive displacement, sea level rising. I'm not going to talk about none of that. Infiltration of fresh salt water infiltrating into fresh water sources because of the failure, because of the high heat, the mountaintop snow accumulation that feeds into estuaries and the tributaries and lakes and rivers drying up and hydroelectric dams drying up and the forest fires and the diminished air quality and the depth of the phytoplankton. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm not going to talk about how white hegemony and capitalism are destroying the life-sustaining capacity of the planet Earth. And these motherfuckers' solution is to fly to Mars with $1 trillion trillionaires privately financing trips to Mars. I'm not going to talk about none of that. While we, our greatest leaders, tell us not to date snow bunnies and invest. These leaders we've elevated 19 kilos, and all these weirdos. I'm not going to talk about none of that. What I'd like to share with you is some summer reading, some summer listening, and some summer watching. This is going to be the most lighthearted, non-controversy, non-controversial, pleasant BroDiallo show, a rational radical show you've ever seen. With none of that heavy shit, none of the unpleasantness. I'm just going to share some of my interest and some of the rationale behind some of my interests. So I know I'm not going to get much viewers. I know I'm not going to get much contributions. But at least we could be at peace and love, right? I'm trying to stall for time for Skip. I heard from him earlier, but like I said, he's a superstar. So what y'all want to start with? Y'all want to start with my movie, reading, or listening recommendations? Music, movies, or literature? What y'all want to start with? Because I'm keeping it light today. No, I don't see nobody saying that. Okay, we're going to start with movies. Movies it is. Reading, well, he was the first to, Brother Charles was the first to respond movies. So we started with movies. So I have to tell y'all, when it comes to movies, oh shit, Skip is having computer problems. Let me just tell him, cool. We waiting. All right. So Skip is having, his computer is tripping. I'll just tell him, when we get enough support, I'll just buy him a new one. Anyway, what did we start with? Movies, right? All right, I have a confession to make. When I sit down in front of the TV, that is a form of escapism for me. And I got Jared Ball and Geechee constantly sending me documentaries. They constantly sending, brother, you got to watch this. Brother, you got to check this out. And let me tell you something. I don't be wanting to watch that shit. It took me a year to watch Who Killed Malcolm X. I couldn't watch it. Didn't want to watch it. It just makes me mad. And first of all, we already knew. They want to talk around. We already knew it was a member of an apocalyptic cult that murdered him with the incentivized by the U.S. intelligence apparatus, COINTELPRO, and murderous cult delusion. But I ain't gonna get into that because we're not talking about that today. I'm gonna stay on task. I'm gonna stay on my job. So I have to tell y'all, don't dig deep into my movie selections and my movie recommendations, because there's two things I plan on watching or things I recommend to other folks. And I might even get into TV series and TV shows, but my shit, it ain't deep because that's where I go to escape. Video games and TV. I read the books, I read the articles, the periodicals, the newspapers, but when I'm watching something, I watch heavy shit. I watch a lot of heavy shit. I listen to lectures and I watch documentaries, but I don't like when my TV gets heavy. I don't like when my TV gets deep. I like to keep my shit surface. Anyway, so what I'm looking forward to the most, what's on my top watch list, but here's the thing also, I don't be going to no goddamn movies, right? So I plan on seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. I've seen all the Deadpool movies. I've seen all the motherfucking Marvel movies. and I like all the comic book movies. My wife, she don't like to watch them with me because I like to point out how they're inconsistent with the comics, how the characters or the storylines or the powers are inconsistent with the canon, with the scriptures, how the movies misrepresent the scriptures of DC and Marvel comics. And I grew up watching DC and Marvel comics. I had a homeboy that used to read manga books and shit, and I liked the fact that when I was, 14, 15, 13 years old and he get those manga, number one, they were in black and white. Number two, a lot of times you had to read them the other way. Not you instead of front to back, you read them back to front. And but one good thing about manga is it had nudity. Like breastises all over. So, and my grandmother, she would see the manga, my man, shout out to Sage, Egosh. Shout out to Sage. He let me borrow his manga. He didn't want to borrow my Marvel DC books, but he let me borrow his manga, and he would put it on the thing, and my grandmother walked by, she wouldn't say nothing. She didn't even pay attention to it. She just thought it was titties all through the book. So that's one good thing about manga. But other than that, I mean, just the nudity in the manga when I was a kid couldn't get me into it. It just wasn't enough. The stories were too heavy. The action sequences were weird. So I never got into a manga and to anime. So my shit is strictly Western comic book, folk book lore. So I look forward to seeing this. Of course, if you know me, I don't like the 6 foot tall Wolverine. I don't like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I've never liked the Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I suffer so much because the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Wolverine's like 5'3". He's like literally a foot shorter than I am. And so this 6 foot and his height, his stature is central to his character. But I'm going to watch this shit. Of course, I'm not going to nobody's movies. I can promise you that one. I'm not going to nobody's movies. I plan on going whenever they come out on streamings and shit. That's when I watch it. I ain't nothing, come out to get me out to the theater yet. Secondly, again, Venom. I'm looking forward to this. I think the Venom movies were whack as hell because every single Venom movie, every single fucking Venom movie, Venom is fighting another Venom. Venom has a lot more enemies than other symbiotes. So they had them fighting Riot, and then they had them fighting was Carnage, and so I hope they got something or someone else to fight, because I'm sick of symbiote on symbiote violence. It's tired of that. It's exhausting. So I plan on seeing the blockbusters. That's all I'm saying. I'm not coming with that old righteous. But now I want to get y'all into, that's what I plan on seeing. But when it's a hot summer day, the wife then made some sun tea on the balcony, put some sun tea on the porch and let that shit brew. And we got some ice, and it's a midday, 100 degrees in Chicago. And I want to watch something from back in the days that I could just get into and spend the rest of my day. Let me tell you what it is. Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, boy, you out here in the Jamaican shirt, ain't it?
It's hot, and I ain't got no air. All my windows is open. I hope y'all don't be hearing the sirens and the whistling and stuff, because I'm cooking. I cook. Anyway, I'm going through my movie selections. So okay. I already said I'm watching the trash blockbusters, but now I'm about to get what I plan on seeing. Now I'm about to get into my recommendations for good summer watching, right? And so this one right here, dog. Now, these are I'm going to show my subtitled movies. I mean, this movie is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. And this movie indicts colonialism, and it shows colonialism, but not only does it demonstrate colonialism, it demonstrates the African traders, the Arabized Africans. Long before, and it's not like the Woman King, where it shows the African sellouts and traders as being heroic. This really demonstrates how Africans were fighting a war on two fronts. The Africans were fighting the European colonizers. No, 3 fronts. They were fighting the European colonizers, the Arab Islamic colonizers, and the Islamicized or Arabized blacks. So they were fighting from the north, interior, and on the coast. So, but this is about a woman, Sarah Unya. They hold back no punches. It's subtitled, but if you could get this movie, Sarah Unya, I used to have it on VHS, but I think it's free on YouTube now. So that's one of my recce's. Oops. That's one of my recce's. Let me show you I'm almost done. And then I want to run with I'm gonna have to run with this movie. If you want to see BroDiallo in tears, in tears, come through for this one. Quilombo, another subtitle movies. One subtitle is in French. The other one, this one is in Portuguese. And the soundtrack, I own the soundtrack. That should have been in my movie. I mean, this movie is just of Palmares. These quilombos were the free communities where the enslaved Africans escaped the mines and the Portuguese word for plantations, and went into the mountains, and they started, allying with and working with the indigenous people who were being slaughtered. Anyway, it shows the largest, most well-known Palmares, and the story of its hero, its mythological hero, Zumbi da Palmares. And in this movie, you get to see African indigenous spirituality. They evoke Shango, they evoke Igun. So they show real good, almost documentary quality depiction of the African initiation rites. And then it just shows, self-liberated Africans hacking and stabbing the shit out of crackers. So Portuguese. But y'all think those Spanish people ain't white. I don't know what y'all think Latinos ain't white, but y'all forget the history. So, but anyway, the conquistadors, hacking and slashing conquistadors. So that Quilombo, I think this is free online as well because of the age. And I'm gonna bring it up. So no more subtitled movies. No more subtitle. This is a movie from back in the day when I used to. This reminds me when I was in college and getting out. Fresh. You ever seen Fresh?
Yeah.
That shit is smooth. I don't know where you can see this one. I ain't seen it in a while, but when I think of watching summer movies, just something I can squaz into. And it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, reminiscent, fresh. It's a hood movie, but more, it's more of a, what do you call that? Like espionage type movie. It's like a spy movie. It's really a good movie. And what I love about this movie that stands out to me more than anything is, Nebuchadnezzar Wright?
Mm-hmm.
I had an encounter with her on 7th Avenue in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And it was me and my homeboy. And my homeboy got her phone number. And I told him, y'all exchange numbers. Wait for her to call you. Wait for her to call you. Don't call Nebuchadnezzar. Wait. And she was on roller skates. She was like roller skating up and down 7th Avenue in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And she was going into like this back to the land health food store. And I told my homie, and I told you, Troy, don't call her. Dude, as soon as we got back to my apartment, he got on the phone that same day within hours. And I think her sister answered the phone or something. And he was like, okay. And he's like, I messed up. I shouldn't have called. And then he was like, I'm going to call her and apologize for calling. And then he called her like 4 times in under an hour. So we never heard. So that was my brush with her greatness, with her celebrity. But anyway, Nebuchadnezzar's in this. Of course, Gus Fring. His name is Gus Fring. He will forever be known as Gus Fring is in this. Of course, Samuel L. Jackson is in every damn movie. And I saw some of the newer covers for the movie, and they put Samuel L. Jackson on the cover just because he was the most famous person to come out of that. But anyway, that's my shit. And of course, another acting titan, Ice-T, Colors, love Colors. The Wayans brother in there, Damon Wayans is in there. And I went and saw that in the movie theater when I was a kid. And I swear to God, I was in Kansas City, Missouri in the late 80s. I walked into that fucking movie And within a week of seeing that movie, Kansas City had like its first drive-by shooting. So this is a case study in how gang propaganda was promoted through the cities. Because before in Kansas City, we had crews, we had neighborhood, we had the village boys and shit. No real colors, no real sets. We was just neighborhood kids, project kids. Soon as this fucking movie came out, dudes took that shit to another level in Kansas City. Talking to you, Hollywood. I ain't gonna say names. Rip the crib. I ain't gonna say names. But y'all cats saw this movie and y'all just fucked up all of South Kansas City. It was a community until this movie, but it's still, it's part of my canon. And I think that's it. Oh, this one. This is a coffee house movie, Chameleon Street. This is if you meet a young lady and you want to impress her, and she's coming over for the first time, put this movie on. I fucking love this movie. And this is actually loosely based on a true story. Chameleon Street is about this guy who's basically a con man. And he would go around impersonating a doctor, lawyer, stockbroker, and all these high-end positions. He would impersonate them and get in there and do the job better than them. And it basically shows that all these high-end, wealthy positions that they have are really just cons and hustles. So anyway, but it's very expertly done. It's hysterical. This guy is one of the best actors from that era. And I think he's one of the most overlooked. But Chameleon Street, like I said, if you got a date and you want to show somebody how sophisticated you are, like when I way back in the 80s and early 90s, you used to have to go to coffee house cinema or little indie cinema movies to check this out. But it's surreal. It's magnificent. I love this movie. And so that's it. Those are my cinematics. I got a few more on the list, but those are my summer watching anticipation recommendations and what I look forward to myself and what I recommend to the community.
All right.
They wanted to start with movies. I asked them. They said, let's start with movies.
All right. Yeah, like first off, Diallo is out here scantily clad, and I just don't know. Like
I should have been rocking 3/4. I know.
I'm just saying, bro. Like you really out here. You know what I'm saying? Scantily
Sorry,
clad.
ladies, I'm married though.
Let's say you married.
DMs.
Hey, bro, live your life.
It's hot, man. I wonder if I could take the temperature in this room, and I don't have no sense. I'm here drinking a hot ass green tea. What do you want from me?
All right. Starting with me. You mind pulling your screen back up?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw them up.
Yeah, all right, boom. Nothing But a Man. That's what we're gonna start with. So your date night movie is Chameleon Street. I'm definitely gonna check that out. But Nothing But a Man. I forgot the sister name from is also a part of my listen too. We Insist Records. We Insist. The Freedom Now Suite. Abby Lincoln, I think is her name. But yeah, so Buddy out there living his life and does what men do. You know, we meet a beautiful woman and life happens. And I just really love, not just the story, but how, like to see a man, right? Like not a caricature of a man, but like not just a TV man, but like legit just a man. Stood tall the whole movie. Loved his woman and did right by her as best as he could.
So after Nothing But a Man and Chill, she'll be impressed.
I mean, this is what I'm gonna say.
You got good taste. Oh, you so sophisticated. Oh.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna say. So, and and this is what I need y'all to understand. I'm not saying a coworker because I'm trying to be slick, but no, literally a coworker talked about old timey movies and how she can't watch old timey movies, but this a black and white film. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Watch that myself.
Yeah, this is if you sophisticated enough to know what's going down, you definitely got nothing but a man. See, Charles Williams is in my mind. The Spook Who Sat by the Door. I don't know if that made
Sam Greenlee.
Sam Greenlee. Ivan Dixon directed that.
That's a
but
banger.
That was my next one.
That was a banger.
And it's free on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely put it on the YouTube. I've watched it at least 4 times on YouTube. But the Spook Who Sat by the Door. Shout out to Dan Freeman. Shout out to all.
I know the whole movie. I can recite it to you.
You know what I'm saying?
Born black, I live black. I'm gonna die probably cause I'm black. Cause some cracker who knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Like, definitely David. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? The badass Cobras. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And he said it's free, the whole thing on YouTube.
Yeah, this whole movie on YouTube free too. You got to be a little discerning so you can find the one that look good.
Now, I've met Sam Greenlee several times. The movie was shot illegally.
Yes.
Like, you see that? The scene show in Chicago, they didn't get no permits. So they was sneaking and shooting that shit. Well, he said at first they were trying to go the permit route and the city was fucking with them. So they were just like, yo, the movie was shot guerrilla cinema. So it's a movie about guerrilla warfare that was literally utilized guerrilla cinema to shoot it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many layers here. Rest in peace to Sam Greenlee.
Yeah. So we got that. Yo, this is crazy. So, the chat is kind of, you know what I'm saying? Y'all really showing out and making me feel good. Cause Leah Boggs, shout out to Leah Boggs, has named the 3rd movie on my list.
Who that is?
The Warriors.
I don't know. Have you played the video game?
Yes.
The game was
Yes, I have on PlayStation 2.
Xbox.
Why would I do that?
Cause X. Real conscious people play the X. X is in the name.
That's not the way that goes.
This is like a horror movie to me. This movie had me on the edge of the seat. This movie felt like a horror movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, bro. Oh, wow. Somebody else is putting a site in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to them. I thought they were doing something different, but I'm definitely going to check that site out. So yeah, but the Warriors, man, I followed this. I've looked at so many of the, behind the scenes things. Like there's a guy on YouTube that goes to all the locations and tells you where they are. Yeah, so yeah, like I'm super really big fan of the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? The Baseball Furies were legit the funniest gang I had ever heard of. Like I just don't think that would have ever been a scary gang. Some dudes, like them, the Baseball Furies right there.
Yeah, that shit spooked me out. When I was a kid, I saw that shit. I didn't like that shit. Was a horror movie to me.
Yeah, they got beat to sleep like so quick, But yeah, man. I don't know if y'all remember, the dude Rembrandt in this movie was in the Bloodhound Gang.
I remember that.
Y'all remember the Bloodhound Gang? So yeah, but that Next movie, fourth movie is gonna be Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned. Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, so another movie, like Black.
Yeah, that one.
You never seen this?
You know what? No, I haven't been the biggest fan of Walter Mosley since he started messing around with Spookly and stuff. But
No, this a movie.
I know.
Oh, okay. I see you put the book up.
I looked for the movie. Let me see if I can find some scenes from the movie.
It's on YouTube. It's free.
Let's see. Oh, there already. It sure is. Yeah, I'll put up the. Oh, they did a remake. No, this is it. This is the original.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, I don't do fancy movies. I do. I found it. There it is. Look like Walk Tall.
Yeah, pretty much. Very similar.
I haven't seen this one. Okay. Fishburne,
Okay.
another fanatic.
So we got that. And then I'm going to end it with, if you know me, you know that I say this all the time. Like, I'm always quoting this movie. Anchorman. One of my favorite movies. In soccer, when the parents are yelling about things, I will always yell loud noises.
Which Anchorman though?
No, the first one.
Okay.
The first one, yeah, not two.
Not the one with Cunye in it.
Yeah, no. Right here, man.
This shit was hysterical.
Bro, I'm talking like this dude was out of control, man.
Yeah,
like when that man pulled that flute out at the dinner. Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. So,
I give it to you.
So those are my 5.
You threw up a couple I ain't seen.
Yeah, so Nothing But a Man, Spook, The Warriors, Always Outnumbered, and Anchorman. And that is
all right.
Hey, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. You know what I'm saying? That is I don't think that's Anchor. Hey, Office Space is fire, but Nobody Makes Me Bleed My Own Blood is Dodgeball.
Oh.
Yeah,
I love Dodgeball.
Yeah, you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hey, man.
I put Princess Bar. You miss, I put Deadpool and Wolverine and Venom Last Dance up.
Okay. Oh, like that's a thing?
Yeah, the new Venom movie.
Okay.
And yeah, so those are that's how I set it off. I like the summer blockbusters, the comic book movies, all that garbage. I love me some garbage.
Yeah. Now this was really interesting. This is really cool. Somebody asked about Office Space.
That was a good one.
Here goes a bonus selection.
Okay.
If you like Office Space, the same dude that did Office Space did a movie called Idiocracy.
I don't like that movie.
Idiocracy is fire.
No.
Fire. Y'all seen the new Black Dynamite?
It's a Nazi movie, man.
No, it's not a Nazi.
It's a fucking Nazi movie. How did the human IQ deplenish?
I don't know. Like everybody just kept getting dumber and dumber.
How did people get dumber and dumber?
I don't know how.
The low IQ people were outbreeding the high IQ people.
Okay.
And the high IQ people begin to elevate in society and get in and spend their time in literature, philosophy, and sciences and high art, while the low intellect people were just busy humping each other and sitting around. And so after generations of the unfit, this is a movie that promotes eugenics. It is the ultimate eugenic outcome of eugenics. This is a eugenics movie. That your intellect, your culture, your civility is a byproduct of your parentage. Go back and watch. They say it in like the pre-law. They talk about how all the intelligent people just stopped having children while all the masses were breeding indiscriminately. And because low IQ people didn't have the intellectual sophistication to control their birth. So when I watched the movie, I had trouble getting with it because of the eugenics. Like at every opportunity, they were really pushing the idea of high birth, low birth, and that the unfit people are outbreeding the fit. Go back and watch it and look for those angles. It's eugenics. Go look at that book and then go look at some excerpts from the bell curve. Like whoever conceptualized this movie is a student of Charles Murray and the bell curve, because that's exactly, or even Mathis, the Malthusian philosophy, the unfit, useless eaters outbreeding the industrious, intelligent, and worthy people. Both, hey, but okay, but I'm saying it's
so Idiocracy is hilarious. You definitely want to check that out. Definitely check out Idiocracy. The other piece, a movie I just watched it a couple days ago was what was it? It's the new Black Dynamite. It's like it's in the same universe as Black Dynamite, so it's like let me see, what's the name of it? Mm-hmm. But like it's Michael Jai White.
He's on that alpha male bullshit. But I ain't gonna say nothing because listen, I got some problematic people coming up, especially for the music section. I'm gonna be showing some problematic shit. So let me get off this high horse.
The outlaw Johnny Black.
Oh yeah. It's another yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know why he's talking that alpha male rhetoric, but beyond that, his shit is good.
Yeah, very funny.
Looks like it's gonna be good. Oh, it came out already?
Yeah.
But can we go back to the OG though? To all this shit? Because if you're gonna put that up, then I gotta go to
Sweetback Badass song.
Wasn't a big fan of that.
You ain't like Sweetback?
It was weird. I'm talking about Rudy Ray Moore.
Oh.
And the Rudy Ray Moore cinematic universe.
Dolomite,
Avenging Disco Godfather, Petey Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law. Them shits made my childhood. I used to watch that shit. What has he had? And Kung Fu. So Rudy Ray Moore and the Avenging Disco Godfather and that movie that Eddie Murphy made about him, My Name is Dolomite. A fucking master. That movie was a masterpiece. I don't know why they're showing this vampire science and shit, but the Rudy Ray Moore movies. The Human Tornado is my favorite, which was supposed to be Dolomite 2. I don't know why they call it the Human Tornado. I'm the Human Tornado.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
I love this shit. I used to watch these on VHS tape back to back to back to back. Me and my homies used to act the movies out. Love that shit. So if we go in there, if we gonna go there, I think Eddie Murphy was shitty for how he did Rudy Ray Moore and ignored him throughout his career, and then used Rudy Ray Moore's biography to revive his own career. But that's a whole nother thing I don't think we worthy to get into. And then I guess next, because it's a mad slew of West Indian, Harder They Come.
Oh man, yeah.
So, but I guess we gotta stop. We gotta move. We gotta move on to music.
Okay.
So we did the watch. Now we're gonna talk about what people should listen to. Now, when I was getting my list, my wife said it would be corny for me to name your music. But so I didn't put Sophomore Slump in there. But I really do look forward to the listening party. We're still on for the August 17th listening party.
Yep, 16th. Yep.
As soon as I get back from New York, I'm getting my ticket. It'll be my first time ever setting foot in Mississippi, and last. So I will be in Mississippi for that. But other than that,
we got to get see if we can get a live episode of Earn Your Liberation.
You want to do that and do it together?
That would be great.
Okay. I'm down. I'm gonna call him as soon as we get off of here.
All right.
So can we go to music?
Yeah, let's go.
I got my visual aids here.
Okay.
So I'm old school. I might be old school, but I ain't no old fool. This album turned me from a casual listener to rap music, because before this album came out, I would listen to like Hall and Oates. You know, I was listening to, contemporary and rock and all. But this album, when I was a little kid, and I'd listening to MC Blowfly and Busy Bee and the Furious Five, but when I heard this album, it made me think of hip hop as a legitimate music genre. And I was like, whoa, my mind was blown. Him and Kumo D. KRS-One and Kumo D. But Kumo D broke my heart one time, which is why he ain't on this list. He said one of the most cruel things I ever heard.
All right.
Because he was promoting British Knights.
Okay.
And I was a big Kumo D fan. And then he came out with this commercial and he said, your shoes ain't nothing without the BK button. And I was an impressionable young man, and I had a pair of Spaldings on. And he said, my shoes ain't nothing without the BK button. And I took that shit mad personal. Like, how could he? So when I'm cleaning the house, when I'm doing something where I don't have to really be focused and engaged, I'm just doing something around the house, mostly house cleaning. I put this on the turntables. I bump this shit hard and rap along every single rhyme. So that's number one.
Okay.
Should I proceed?
Keep going.
So
Let's go. You do your whole list. I do mine.
I just got this a couple of days ago. So I do old school. I'm old school. Ice-T Power. I know you want to try it. Check it out. Money can buy it. So this is Ice-T classic cover. I had this poster, and my grandmother made me take it down. And so I was going to take it down, roll it up, and put it under my bed. And she said, give me that goddamn poster. Christian woman cursing. Give me that poster. And I don't know what became of that poster. It's probably worth $1 million now. But this album, Ron Pays is my favorite album. And I have that on CD. But I was in a used record store. And I bought this because I didn't have this. I was listening to this on the internet or MP3, whatever the hell the internet music stuff. But I like my media in my hand. So Ice-T Power, I was blessed to find me a cassette copy of Ice-T's Power. This shit slaps, And of course, this is in no particular order, right?
Of course, all of them are in no particular order.
All right, good. I'll just hold these as one. Where are the other one? These two, right here. Poor Righteous Teachers, Holy Intellect, and New World Order. I kind of look at this one like a compilation album because they did a song with KRS-One, you know, which just conscious style. Oh, conscious style right now. Go and cue up conscious style with KRS-One and Poor Righteous Teachers. It kills, of course. Poor Righteous Teachers, Holy Intellect. You know, it made me want to become a 5%er. Real talk. I wanted to be a 5%er.
Join.
I started reading a little bit more about it, but I was like, nah, I'll just enjoy the 5% music. Of course, Shayoon, this album got me through quarantine. I was bumping this nonstop. Even nowadays, my wife, you know, struggle music, struggle sound, struggle people, struggle now. This album got me through quarantine. So happy. I don't even smoke weed, but I sing along with the weed music, you know, promoting drug abuse. This shit slaps, you know, so this has a special place in my heart because you know how I be outside. So quarantine that
apparently you be outside scantily quiet.
So, but that I was just bumping that nonstop. Me and Shayoon, we quarantined together. And he was on the other side of the world, but I felt like we was quarantining together. This movie, this album, this is, you know, how I do gospel. If you want to see me go into a Holy Ghost dance, Still Pulse, Handsworth Revolution, their first debut album. Give I back I witch doctor. Give I back I black ruler. We not want no dictator. We not want no tyrant, Tanya. Man, this man gives me goosebumps to this day. To this day, I put on this album, I get goosebumps. I can't do nothing but sit. KK, Ku Klux Klan, do unto the clan what they do to you. In this case, hate thy neighbor.
That's a bar.
This album, I love this album, and I have to admit, I sucker MC'd this album. I was in a play, and they wanted to close out a play with a musical number. So I was doing this summer traveling theater, and we would go around doing, and we'd have to do the theaters based on positive themes, encouragement, upliftment. So I was traveling around doing this play, and me and the dude, we had the girls had written like this really beautiful R&B hook, and they was like, we just got to put the lyrics to it. We got the beat, and so I was like, yeah, me and Robert, we gonna go home and we're gonna write the lyrics and just give us the beat, give us the hook, and we just gonna put lyrics in there. It's gonna be fire. We're gonna close out our play with this rendition. And I couldn't come up with shit. I had writer's block. So I went and got this album and I sucker MC'd the shit. And it wasn't really popping in my hood like that. Wasn't nobody really checking for this album. So I know really nobody had heard it because only me and one other dude in my hood even listened to this group. Right? So this is my first time confessing this.
Okay.
And it's done by the Forces of Nature, Jungle Brothers. I have another one of these. It was autographed. One time I was playing basketball in Brooklyn, and the Jungle Brothers were playing pickup basketball in Brooklyn, Prospect Heights. And I was where I play basketball, and I played a game, and I ran home as fast as I could to Turner Towers. I got all my Jungle Brother albums. And this is when JB's with the Remedy had just come out. So I had JB's with the Remedy, Straight Out the Jungle, and this, and I brought it to them, and they autographed all my albums. But you know what they did before they autographed the albums?
What was that?
They opened them up to see if they was bootleg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they checked the liner. They were like, okay, we'll sign them. Because they didn't know if they were bootleg or not. So he opened it up, looked in and said, oh, yeah, this is legit. You paid for this. So they signed them. So shout out to the Jungle Brothers. I apologize for sucker MC in the sunshine. It's the God in light, the power that we all pretend to fight. I bit that shit so hard and got on stage and performed that like 24 times like I wrote it. So that was my first and last time ever sucker MCing. So I like to bite. And finally, and I don't get to listen to this kind of stuff You know, it was a tie between this and Grip It on That Other Level. Cause you know I'm so hood. I'm from the hood. I'm Gen X, you know. So NWA and the Posse,
The
before the shit
first one.
got real, before NWA got on this CIA payroll, because on this album, they got like something to dance to. They got comedic albums. This is the origins, the true origins of gangster rap, not Straight Outta Compton. And there's a lot of fluff in here, showing a lot of their music, Panic Zone, break beats and shit. So you do have like less than half of the tracks on this album talk about gangster and shit. You know, you got 8 Ball, you got, Dope Man. But a lot of these albums, it's just, shows the truth. And I think somebody got to them. They were like, no, do all gangster shit. Be this whole gangster shit. So NWA and the Posse, the OG NWA song. This is right after Dre left World Class Wrecking Crew. He still had some of the eye makeup on when he produced this. When Yellow Boy was laying them drums, he still had on the lace gloves. Eazy-E was still wearing the apron from his parents' restaurant. And when Ice Cube went on tour to promote this album, he took a leave from technical school. He was in college. He had to get a permission slip from his parents, and they pinned it to the back of his shirt. So this album, I think, is so relevant in our history because it shows that the origin of gangster rap was not gangsters or gangster shit. Before the Feds sat down with them, before the CIA and the anti-African propagandists sat down with them and told them, go all gangster and promote genocide. So that harkens me back to an era where gangster rap wasn't dominant, conscious rap was dominant, and when this came out, gangster rap was considered underground and alternative. So it just gives me a time, but I could go on. So I tried to limit myself to 5. Couldn't do that. I tried to double up on some, but that's me.
All right. So somebody in the chat was talking about Doom. Yeah, I'm a big Doom fan.
MF Doom.
Yeah, I like MF Doom.
Talking about KMD.
Yep. So yeah,
I never was a Doom fan. I'm a KMD fan. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah. So for me, No Worries, Anderson .Paak, and Knowledge. Those are my I Ain't Shit records. I'd like to listen to them and pretend that I don't take care of my kids and I have a plethora of women. Anderson that is my.
What is that?
Man, listen. I put that on and listen, man. I just feel. Yeah.
Do he rap?
Oh boy, you out your mind if you don't know what Pac get. If you don't know the Andy get down, boy.
I don't.
Listen,
man.
Yeah.
Anybody that started laying shit down after 1994.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, he get down.
Black people in the audience.
So shout out to Posh the Noose, Maceo, rest in peace to Dave.
Which album? Give me one.
Balloon Mind State.
I think that
Balloon Mind State. Yeah. So one of the things that I think that makes that record so good is my mentor Charlie was talking about how important that was, because that's what rap music could have been. It could have been these guys really getting in and working with two of the JBs. I think Maceo and somebody else like played on it, so it wasn't always sampled. It was like them coming in and doing things. Really big deal. Like this may not be my favorite De La record, but it is definitely among my favorite De La records. But like just for like driving, moving around, it's still pretty light. It feels good. Balloon Mind State. Really like that.
Excellent.
Third record, shout out to Abby Lincoln. We Insist. Um, the Freedom Now suite, I think, is incredible. Yeah, like vibing out to that is a thing. Shout out to the chat for reading my mind on some things. Because someone had Winter in America on here.
Gil Scott.
And yeah, that is probably my favorite Gil record, Winter in America.
Seen him perform live several times.
Yeah, you said that, and I've been jealous every time that you said that. I actually rode through Jackson, Tennessee, trying to see if I could pick some of that up. And I didn't, but you know.
I mean, you know the thing about Gil Scott, he was doing the Lauryn Hill thing long before Lauryn Hill. I don't know if he would show up late, but he definitely start his set late. Because I would be like in Sounds of Brazil, SOBs in Manhattan. And it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the show's supposed to start. And he'd be at the bar, hanging out, kicking it, roaming around the crowd. So I don't know if Lauryn Hill didn't show up at all, but he would just, man, and he would get up on stage late as hell. But nobody ever complained because he was in the building a lot of times, but he just wouldn't get on stage and do his show. His band would be up there all tuned up.
Yeah, just ready. Dude.
Yeah, but I went to see him. I was so happy to see him. And even though he was declining during the end, his health, he I don't know, my camera just went out. Even though his health was declining, he definitely was, his music and his musical ability never waned. Yeah. Just mind blowing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna do it, you know. Radio Free Jafrica August. Very proud of it. So yeah, it'll be present for y'all. Maybe we do something on here for it. But yeah, like Diallo's heard it. It does exist.
It's phenomenal. Like literally my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah. And you didn't hear the version with you on it, right?
No, I didn't hear none of that. Listen, I don't do the digital music thing. You see all my shit. Yeah. Set CDs. I even got an 8-track player. I don't play around with that digital music shit. I might watch, you know, a battle rap on YouTube. But my wife pulled that shit up and was playing. My jaw hit the floor. I'm like,
hey, bro, when we put this chat up, when we put the link up, I need you to come in.
What is he saying?
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. He really out here talking about play or fly. And listen, for you to be here on this talking about play or fly, you my type of guy. I really need you to click that link so we can build in front of these people that have no idea what you're talking about, because nobody needs nobody. Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I don't know. Y'all out of my league. Yeah. I told you, don't go beyond 1994 or else I'm lost.
Yeah.
Respect your elders.
That was crazy. This man talking about play or fly on this. What?
I have to look him. I got him. Okay, I'm gonna listen. Better not let me down. Don't let me down. All right, are we moving on to books? Are we done with music?
Yeah, we can get the books.
All right. You want to go first or I go first?
I'm gonna go first.
All right.
So I think this is the baseline. These are in order.
Okay.
These are in order.
All right.
And the order is not best, but as far as like the introduction. So let me change one thing. Okay, I think this is my order. I may change it. 1 and 2 are really interesting to me. So I read the second book that I'm gonna give you first. So maybe I'm gonna put that as first, but I think, yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Okay.
I just think it is I think it's just foundational, right? Without getting into the religious aspect of it, I think that the autobiography of Malcolm X is in that Bible category, right? Like Bible, people say Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth, whatever. I think there is something about reading this text that grounds you in a way in what you should be doing for the rest of your life. It's a very easy read. I think this is something that we should definitely be pushing to our young folk to read. And it doesn't necessarily give you the politics that the second book I'm going to give you gives. But I do think I like this as the introduction. I think you start here, right? I think you start with the autobiography of Malcolm X.
All right.
Then I think you read Asada. And I think Asada is a much better book. But I think then you read Asada, because Asada like sharpens you. And something that I hear them talk about on EYL, that I think is really important. That I think is really important is like reading these books in community. And I think this is one of those books that we should definitely maybe pick up another show, Diallo, and kind of do a reading of it, a discussion of it, where like we had an audience that is really engaged already, but we read this together, and you facilitate a chapter, I facilitate a chapter. I think we should do it like that to kind of, like really get people into reading this text with like really reading this in community with one another, because it's just so much. Like we read it at work, and to kind of be leading a discussion at work with folk who weren't really familiar, and to see how they started seeing things. They started seeing things much more different than they had been seeing them before. Because it's so plain. And one of the other things is in Asada, as she tells the story, you can see why the next idea was the next idea. Like I think that's that. The third book is Blood in My Eye, George Jackson. I definitely think
summer readings for somebody just to sit on a beach in a Speedo sipping from a coconut.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things
you hitting them hard, man.
I I think this is one of the things that's really really interesting to me, right? As a person who, a good time for me is to sit around and not only talk about what we read, what we think, but the way the conversation meanders between laughing and joking to our political situation, to laughing and joking to our political situation. Like, right. We have a thing at work where we say there's no work-life balance, there's just life. And I think sometimes we try to put the revolutionary stuff at a particular point in time when there's no way you can't convince me that George Jackson didn't laugh. Like, he was talking that shit and he was laughing. Like, it ain't no way something crazy that happened and he didn't laugh. Like, I think our humanity is a part.
I'm glad you said that. Huh? I got called out for making fun of Yvette Carnell's hairline.
Yeah, you know, like
so.
Yeah, so
I'm glad. Not there. I can say Skip backs me up on that.
Yeah. So then, the step after that, I think, is Ready for Revolution. Kwame Ture and Mike Thelwell.
That's a heavy book, man. That's like 1,500 pages.
Bro, so let me tell you what was crazy. One, I did not know that the book was... I did not know that people did not read books that were that long. So I'm chilling. And I know I got a long way to the barbershop.
It's long, but it left out. I ain't saying it's a bad book, but it didn't even touch on everything. I mean, the brother's life was just that. I mean, his life is really worthy of a multi-volume work. So
for real, bro. But listen, so I walk in the barbershop with this. And I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? And I sit down and start reading, and the barbershop get quiet. And somebody was like, hey, bro, like, what the fuck you reading all that for? I was like, you know, like, I'm just reading, and I'm just like, what you mean? And they like, yo, like, what you doing?
My cup, yeah.
And then, like, there's a large conversation that talks, and people got kind of introduced to it. And what I did was, and I shouldn't have done this, but what I did was, I ended up giving somebody a copy of Stokely Speaks, because they wanted to know, like, what was this guy about, you know? So yeah, so like that's that. And then lastly, a Homer pick, he the homie. We definitely got to go with Jared's The Myth and Propaganda.
Oh, don't do that.
Huh?
Oh my God, why would you do that?
You gotta read it.
You know that man's ego is already
his ego, bro?
Yes.
His ego?
Directly to the site. Go to imixwhatilike.org. Yes. Don't say him. Where you order the book from his site? I got a signed copy of it. Anyway, go to I Mix What I Like. Where do you get the damn book from? Anyway, you were saying, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. That would be my 5.
All right, yeah. Let's hope Jared don't find out your preference. That man's already out of control. Can I do my books now?
There you go.
All right, this is my summer reading. I ain't giving y'all no 1,500 page take up your hole so you can't kick it. So you take my book to the beach, you have time to get in the water. All right, first is Gorillas by John Lee Anderson. Same guy who wrote Che Guevara's autobiography, which I find is respectable. But I really like this book because he talks about, when we think about guerrillas, when we think about revolution, we think about warfare. He talks about the intimate life of revolutionaries, the personal lives, the concerns. There's a chapter on the PLO, Palestinian guerrillas, Palestinian freedom fighters. When you're hearing all that bullshit propaganda about Hamas and Hamas terrorism, and you can really get a historical and ideological perspective on the Palestinian liberation struggle, the fight against Zionism, and some of the protocols, the principles, the values. It is really good. He goes and goes on the ground into the forest, Latin America, Southeast Asia, of course, Palestine, and various guerrilla movements and guerrilla struggles. I really enjoy this book. Much of it is in their own words, and many struggles that are still going on that are forgotten. So Guerrillas by John Lee Anderson, that's a great summer read. Weber, I think it's pronounced Weber. Now, I'm hood. I've been reading this guy's book since my freshman year in college. And I call him Max Weber. Fuck that. But his name is Max Weber. Max Weber. And I like this book, Protestant Work Ethic and Capitalism. And I pull because it is my conclusion that capitalism is complementary to theocracy. And you know how I feel about religion. And this book pretty much lays, and this is not an anti-capitalist book. It's not considered anti-capitalist. It's not considered anti-religion. But it is a sober assessment. The fact that Christianity, Christian values, the Christian dogma is the germ seed for capitalism, imperialism, and slavery. So this isn't even a book that is hostile. Max Weber was not hostile. I think he was secular in his philosophy and thinking, but he's not hostile. But he directly connects that if it wasn't no global Christian empire, there would be no global capitalist empire. So I like to use this when I'm talking to people that try to convince me that we can have spirituality and religion and revolution and liberation theology, and everybody's been spitting liberation theology at me when I say no, there's way more oppression coming from theology than liberation. Dark Water, W.E.B. Du Bois at his best. I like this because this is more of his informal writing. If you read Philadelphia Negro and his other books, he gets real heady. He's a brilliant dude. He's a brilliant social scientist. But sometimes these are like his articles. And he was really writing in an informal voice and just talking to the people. And he's going in on Booker T. Washington, And so, he just gets loose in this. So I think this is not only very insightful, it really demonstrates him in his just who he was as a person. You can kind of read it in his voice. And everybody know I'm not the biggest fan of Du Bois, but that's, if I had to pick one of his books, very easy, quick read. A Century of Genocide. This is a really excellent book that talks about, when people say genocide, they think that is synonymous with the Holocaust and World War II. And he definitely has a chapter on Nazi Germany, but he talks about the policies, ideologies, economic, social, cultural conditions that create genocides in various populations around the world. And this book, I don't even remember, it's got to be at least 20 years old, man. When did this come out? But you would swear it was written yesterday. A decade, 20 years, exactly. This book came out in 2023. And I want to do a review of this book because what he talks about in A Century of Genocides is how all through, at the time where humanity had reached its peak in technology and civilization, it also started peaking in aggression and savagery. And so people who think that technology is going to save us, it's not going to. This is a book I haven't actually read yet. This is the first book I'm recommending that I can be reading with y'all. Shout out to somebody actually sent me this book. Who is the publisher? Charles H. Kerr, Revolutionary Classics. Lucy Parsons. Now, I came kind of late to her. And when I started, I've read articles, I've read speeches by her, and she was post-racial before Obama. So she was like, it's all about class. She's an anarchist and later evolved into a communist and a revolutionary black woman. But people don't like her. She doesn't really resonate in the black community because she was like, yeah, the race ain't where it's at, you know. And she was right, though. She's like, you can get all the racial, if you overcome all the racial strife and get your rights and get the right to vote and end segregation, but if you don't end capitalism, if you don't end these hierarchies, black people are either going to be reduced back to slavery or they're going to become oppressors themselves and join in the sixth system as investors, as soldiers in the imperial armies, and even as president. So in some ways she was right, but in many ways she was incorrect in that. I think if she had lived longer, she probably would have figured that out. But I really look forward to reading this summer. Lucy Parsons, revolutionary, communist, and anarchist before black folks, and black people's presence in anarcho and communistic struggle. So I haven't read that one yet. That's the one of the, I got two books in here I haven't read yet. But I'm gonna speed it up. People's History of the United States. This is Howard Zinn, rest in peace. This is just fun reading for me. I just like, and then I got this book called A Patriot's History of the United States. But I actually was going to bring in Before the Mayflower because I just wanted a light history book that you could just read casually, like informally, but it's very weighty. But I couldn't find my copy of Before the Mayflower. I think my wife took it to her office downtown. So we're going to have a big fight when she gets back because she loves just taking my books. And then I'll be like, Erica, where's my book? And she's like, I don't know where your book is. And then she'll run down to her office and get it off her bookshelf and then bring it and slip it on the shelf and pretend like I just wasn't looking thorough enough. That's how she's been doing that to me for years. Y'all see how I suffer here. So I think, this is my replacement for Before the Mayflower is People's History of the United States. This is the other book I haven't read. I read Parable of the Sower. And I have to admit, most of my nonfiction books that I read are from recommendations of my wife. She's a literature person. She loves, various forms of fiction works. So most of the fictions I've read over the last 20 years is something my wife stuck in my face. So it's not really something I was self-motivated to read. So I didn't really want to recommend nonfiction. I mean, I didn't want to recommend fiction because most of it's my wife's recommendation, not my own. But this is one book. Parable of the Sower was magnificent. I love Octavia Butler. And I look at it, and I've been meaning to read this, and I'm definitely going to get through this summer. White Trash. White Trash. This is a book about race and class and how white folks, white folks, this MAGA movement is nothing new. White people getting hysterical and scapegoating and getting bloodthirsty, murderous around because of their failures to have a class analysis and class solidarity. So White Trash is really a book. And it explains that white people did not come to a middle class through entrepreneurship. White people did not grow their middle class through sacrifice, morality, law abiding, none of those shit. And if you look, when white folks were under the same economic tyranny and economic discrimination as the African people are today, they engaged in higher rates of crime, drug abuse, family disintegration, and other things. So, I mean, that's kind of a compliment to the myth of Black buying power. It shows that white people did not entrepreneur and innovate their way out of massive poverty and dysfunction. It was public policies and capturing the reins of the state and reorienting the state. And so all these people selling us lies about, we just pull our money and stop buying Nikes and stop buying acrylic nails and we'll be fine. That's a goddamn myth. If white folks couldn't elevate themselves in the economy and in the society, the white working class and the white poor did not elevate themselves through those mythological means. It was through the welfare. But anyway, these are the two books I'm about to do a book review on. psychopathic racial personality and locking up our own. The locking up our own, I read this book twice, is very painful and unpleasant. You know, it's just how we make mistakes and how we keep repeating mistakes. Finally, I want to share one of my favorite graphic novels, World War III, JLA. This is really just one of my favorite graphic novels. I'm not that big of a DC fan, but JLA of this era, 90s, 2000s, was just firing on all cylinders. So I like to read graphic comic novels. Just honorable mention, The New Age of Apocalypse. If you like the original Age of Apocalypse, this isn't nearly as good as the original, but you know, they gave us a little something for the fans of Age of Apocalypse.
Is that Bishop?
Huh?
Is that Bishop or Logan on the cover?
That's Logan. The real Logan, the 5'3" Logan, not the 6 foot tall Logan like in the movies. I don't know why they gave us a 6 foot tall Logan when his height is a component of his character. So yes, this is Wolverine, but Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. So he's from an alternate reality. He's not from the 616 timeline. So he's an alternate reality Wolverine, not the Wolverine we all know and love. But beyond that, that's my reading list. So I think that's it for the summer. Hot, radical summer. Listen to that music, watch them movies, read them texts, and by the time you look up, it'll be fall again. It's summer year-round where you are, so I don't even know what summer means to a dude living in the dirty South.
Nothing at all. I start some selfishly. A bunch of them have to do with me. So Diallo, do you have any MF Doom albums?
No, I got KMD albums. I got Mr. Hood. I got Black Bastards. So I got me some KMD albums if you want to come over and listen with me.
What inspired my music? The short answer would be Last Poets, Watts Prophets, Gil Scott Heron. Before that, even Max Roach with the We Insist, Freedom Now Sweet. From there, I guess you would go into Chuck D. From Chuck D, people laugh at this when I say Pastor Troy and Kanye West.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So from there, you know, then I kind of start finding my own lane and just kind of existing. But like all those things were just kind of real for me. I would love this. I really appreciate her last record.
Yeah, that's a new rapper I can rock with.
Yeah, I really like No Name. And more than liking No Name's music, I really like the person that she appears to be. So yeah, if anybody know No Name, you know, have it happen. I would love that.
Yeah.
This right here, There's No Place Like America Today. Yo, you spitting. Hey, boy. Hey, you spitting now. Yeah, very good Curtis Mayfield record. Yeah, it's really weird. The cover is like all these black people in the food line in front of a billboard of white people going on a vacation. So yeah, it's like Curtis Mayfield was super slick. Wow. Are there any albums or anything that inspired your style of music? Yeah, the Black Experience. You know, I make music for black people. It's black music for black people. If you ever see me perform, I say that a lot. This is black music for black people. It causes a whole lot of conflicts when I'm with like some larger acts, and they have like their white diehard audience in the front, and people want to talk to me afterwards, and I don't know what they want to talk about. Like, you liking it is fine. I appreciate you. Thank you for buying this record, but this is black music for black people. What is one of Skip's faves from his discography? Favorite songs. It is what it is.
Love that.
This new record I got, All.
No, you can't reference something ain't nobody had a chance to listen to.
You heard it. So like, what it sound like?
I didn't know the tracks.
Oh yeah.
You didn't send me the track list or nothing. You just sent me the music. How the hell am I supposed to know the name of the goddamn
And it's
song?
just one file. If I ain't mistaken, It's just one file.
Don't ask me that. Listen, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
If that's all. Let me clear. Let me back that up. I appreciate what you said.
Yeah.
That shit was hot fire. Hot fire. But I don't know the names of it.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. Like,
I like James.
Yeah.
Being
and
a
Ruger
father
Remix and
myself.
Armalite, I think, is really good.
Who?
Ruger Remix and Armalite.
I don't know the names.
That's off Miles Garvin.
Oh.
Ruger
I like James. Because my nickname was JJ. People used to call me JJ and Dynamite when I was growing up.
That's hilarious.
Don't favor that dude in the least.
Yeah, I mean, but just, I guess, tall and dark, slim. Maybe that's what.
Don't favor that dude. Me and that dude got nothing in common. And
so
and
you
so,
mean tell
I
me
want
you
to
don't
be
think
a James.
What's her girl name?
Huh?
What's that white woman name he got? Ann Coulter. You don't think Ann Coulter is attractive?
I appreciate it. I'd love for her to come on here and talk her shit. Because listen. Tricks who think I'm tricking.
All right, Skip, have you read Blood Meridian? No, I'm not hip. So thank you for that. Diallo, have you read the political writings of Dhoruba bin Wahab?
No, is that a compilation? I mean, I've read many of the Panthers in compilations, but I've never heard of that. Is that a book?
Yeah, I'm not hip. So I thought you might have knew it, but not Zay. You know what I'm saying? Hop in the chat and like when you get on here, tell us where we can find that. Diallo, who's your favorite battle rapper?
KRSONE. The bridge is over. Down with the sound called BDP. If you want to join the crew, well, you must see me. You can't sound like Shane or the one Marley. But I know he's not probably talking about the old school cats. The dudes that be in the trenches. Who's that one conscious battle rap dude? That one dude that just be slaying them white rappers. I don't know his name. But I watch him on YouTube. I don't know his name. But he's fire.
I like Lux. I like Daylight.
I don't really like. Oh, that guy's weird as hell. Didn't he try to defecate on stage?
Yeah.
He squatted to defecate on stage, and they had to drag him off.
Yeah, he can rap though.
I don't like the battle rap format.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say
really
like,
speak to me,
audience. This is homophobic, and I'm working on it. But like, writing these long poems about a dude just don't seem like my type of. Like,
and they right. It's whack as hell. It's not off the dome.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go to like Washington Square Park and the ciphers, and dudes used to like come off the dome and be creative. But I'm not a fan of that whole. And then I see how the whole shit is orchestrated by white boys.
Yeah.
Setting up arenas for black people to get on and say the most degrading things about each other.
Yeah, I just, like
that whole battle rap set scene format, it don't speak to me. But when you go back to battling, I think that KRS won. I don't think anybody's ever defeated him in a battle. He even battled Nelly and beat Nelly.
Yeah, but like what's the boy name? King Los. I like Los.
No.
But yeah, I'm just not, I'm good.
Yeah,
It's just
I
not
get
me.
that battle rap.
And like, hey, and I'll tell anybody, man, like, hey man, I'm sure them dudes could wrap circles around me.
Listen, I'm from the era where rappers would come and put on shows and have choreographed dances and matching outfits. Even the I went to see the Fat Boys on their crushing tour, and them brothers was synchronized. I ain't with all this grime. They think, yeah, like Biggie said, y'all was grimy in the early '90s, like that shit. I'm from the era of hip hop. That shit wouldn't have flew. But
Yeah,
I do appreciate a good rap battle, but I
yeah,
prefer one that's composed and they do it in the studio. Just talking about a man in his face like that, that ain't me.
that's just weird to me. Thank you for this
Oh,
$5.
and Kumo D, let me just say,
Yeah.
Kumo D destroyed LL Cool J. Kumo D is just like me now.
Lackluster.
Yeah, I go to work. Yeah, so Kumo D, KRS-One, great battles. I love the whole saga of UTFO versus the real Roxanne versus Roxanne Shante. That shit is the classic #1 battle of all time. That was not even a battle. Like I said, that was a saga. So Roxanne Shante was taking on everybody at 14 years old, just beating them. Even took on and called Bookie Down Production, Broken Down Punks. So Roxanne Shante, I appreciate a good rap battle, but the way they do that grimy, musty backpack shit, I can't. I'm a little too sophisticated. I'm a little too old for that.
Yeah, I mean,
X Sensational Sentinel.
Yeah,
X Clan. I love X Clan. They should be in here. I definitely love X Clan. A little bit more trivia. Eastern Parkway, Brother Jay, where the Black Watch Movement was headquarters when I was going to downstate. My first 2 years at downstate, State University of New York, I lived on Eastern Parkway, 1 block away from the headquarters of the Black Watch Movement. You go right across, I think it was Sterling Street. I don't remember. It's too many streets in New York, but I lived like a block away from the headquarters of the Black Watch Movement. And I actually met their producer of the first 2 albums. To the East Blackwards is just an unmitigated classic, but I couldn't list everything on here. Yeah. But shout out to X Clan. Rest in peace to Professor X, the overseer. Another piece of trivia, he was Sonny Carson's son.
Yeah.
Another movie we could have mentioned, the miseducation of Sonny Carson. So that was Diallo, do you have time to watch X-Men 97? Dale Jones music. Dance of the Elders. I have to apologize for not including that. Like I said, I can't put everything. But yes, Dale Jones, political analysis and music production, unparalleled. But no, I'm not watching X-Men 97 because my lame ass wife and my lame ass kids didn't see X-Men 93, 94, 95, 96. So they were like, we don't want to watch 97. So now I am watching the original X-Men series. And so that I'm making yet another sacrifice as a man, as an alpha male, sacrificing for my family. I'm sitting through the original X-Men up till 96. I think, what was it, 93 or 94 to 96. And then we'll watch 97 after we watch the original series. Because nor my wife, nor my oldest son, he's in the wind. But my youngest son and my wife haven't seen the original. And they don't want to watch the new X-Men without the original. So it's going to be a few weeks before I get to watch X-Men 97. Yet another sacrifice. They should make a tragic movie about me as a black man having to rewatch the X-Men series.
Yeah, I'm not hip to Richard Raw out of Wilmington, Delaware. So yeah, like give me hip, Yeah.
I got a lot of shit on here.
Yeah, so like that's what's up. So like, if I'm someone that Richard Raw should know, if anybody knows Richard Raw, tell him I said what's up.
I got a lot of shit. I got movies and shit.
And I'm very easy to find. I would really appreciate it if he would reach out to me, or somebody find some way to reach out to me. I know I'm not on any of the socials, but you know, we're gonna post a link here in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna be looking for Richard Raw. I would like, you know, let's get the verse swap. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So it's an exchange back and forth, reciprocation. This is good. I guess nobody want to come live though. Nobody want to come through. I'll share the link.
Oh, share the link. Put it out. I ain't see it.
If you want to come on live with your question, comment, criticism, maybe a recommendation or two of your own, you can be on with me and Skip, the Rational Radical. We here.
Somebody asked if I like Vince Staples.
Huh?
I love Vince Staples. Somebody asked if I like Vince Staples.
He's a funny
dude.
Staples. I don't know his music. I know his TV shit. I know him on Abbott Elementary and his varieties. It's not a variety show. It's more it's paced like a variety show, but the Vince Staples show. I know it. I know his acting. I don't really know his music. And I know one rapper I wish would stop making movie and TV shows and get back in the booth. Boots Riley.
Yep. It's on tibet.bandcamp.com. Oh, there go my boy Don. Get Don in here.
Who Don is?
Yeah, get Don in here.
He's banned from the show. God damn it.
Show them plans, Don. Show them how it's really done.
What's the deal? Uh-oh, we got a glare.
I'm
Let them see it, handsome.
Ain't nothing to see.
Doing?
What's happening?
Y'all? Uhuru.
Right on,
brother.
Uhuru. I actually wanted to get y'all opinion, like social commentary right now. First off, my focus is on Eminem, right? Just I put it in the chat though, like, you know, as a, I guess because Diallo, BroDiallo was talking about him when the battle rap topic came up, and quite frankly, Eminem disturbs me. If you look at, I hate to call for anybody's institutionalization, but like when I listen to them lyrics, like he really disturbs me. But I wanted to get y'all interpretation and or opinion on him begatting Megan Thee Stallion and her recent incidents in a lyric in his recent song. I think it's called Houdini. And yeah.
First of all, I spent my whole life ducking and dodging Eminem. I don't listen to his music, never patronized anything related to him. I've kept my distance from that dude. If I was in the club and they put his shit on, I go sit down. I wouldn't dance to his music. I have spent my whole life, all my life, I had to fight not to be exposed to Eminem. That's number one. But I am familiar with him talking about Megan being shot and assaulted. And what's very peculiar and curious to me is there have been many throughout hip hop, misogyny and sexism is a cornerstone in hip hop. So I don't understand selective outrage. There have been many people who supported Tory Lanez, who brought Tory Lanez, people who were collaborators and friends of Megan, who brought Tory Lanez on stage and performed, endorsed, he was making the talk show circuit to tell his side of the story. So I don't fucking understand the selective outrage. That would be my response. And my thing is, I expect white people to be white folks. I hold black people to a higher standard. I'm not a Megan Thee Stallion fan. You know, I have looked at some of her videos for academic purposes. But I'm not a Megan Thee Stallion fan. It just ain't my cup of tea. But even me, not as a fan, but as a member of the community and the culture, I saw how they did this sister, demonized this sister. When the sister even said, you know, when the police would air guns out, I'm trying to protect this little fool and keep him from getting popped. And the community embraced Tory Lanez And up until they saw his father's haircut, I think that's when he lost the community support. His daddy fucked it up for him. But beyond that, so it's just real curious to me. My question would be for all the brothers and sisters: if we had checked all these motherfuckers disrespecting this woman who was a victim of a horrendous assault, if we had checked these brothers out the gate, Eminem would have never felt that it was the ability to mock such an incident. So that's what comes up in my mind. That's what comes up in my mind.
No, I like that. It's
about the situation, and everybody want to attack Eminem like these are our women to abuse. These are our women to dehumanize.
Yes.
These are our women to mock. How dare you? I mean, Snoop Doggy Dogg was asked, "What do you think about decades worth of we don't love these hoes? They ain't nothing but bitches and hoes," and showing up on the red carpet with black women on dog leashes, and not for no fetish shit, but on some pimp shit, and taking legitimate pimps who have trafficked black women for decades and turning them into international superstars. And they ask him, "What do you think about that? You having a daughter suffering with mental health issues and going through it." He said, "I apologize for nothing. Fuck y'all."
Ooh.
Yeah. He said, "I apologize for nothing." And we know he know how to act around women because you look at his Martha Stewart show. Mm-hmm. So my response to all of that, to all these people feigning outrage to Eminem, if you haven't been standing on business from day one, my response to you is, why now? What the fuck took you so long? Why too little, too late? But that's me.
Yeah, see, it's contradictory, right? For me. So the contradiction is when white folks say stuff like, the people that talk about racism are the real racists. I say they're stupid.
Right.
But I find myself being in conversations where it's like, well, if we would stop talking about it, it wouldn't be a thing. Right? Like, I see and hear the contradiction in that, but it's like, I don't have a thought on Eminem doing, like, okay, whatever.
On celebrity, would you pinpoint it? Would you like to pigeonhole it? Could I pigeonhole it accurately to celebrity? Because literally, if we simply did not engage celebrity, and I honestly see celebrity as a particular job, bro. Like,
yeah,
that's a job, and these co-workers honestly can't stop touching on each other, and can't stop.
But see, like, and this where it gets weird, right? Like, so it has a little even more nuance, right? Like another little shift. I was genuinely upset and offended, you know, that like Buddy shot that girl. Like, it was like, first off, why you ride around with iron around a girl anyway? Like, that shit's just insane to me. Like, it's very dumb to me. But also, like, even her saying, hey, when the laws got on us, you know, like, I'm still protecting him. And like, you just don't want to own that, and all of the, she didn't get shot. So like, what we got going on that like none of our women are safe with us? What we got going on that our women would pick a bear, right? Like, that's a problem. But then when you add to it that this dude, I mean, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to give it any attention. But like, it was tasteless. And if we don't engage with it, it ain't cool, and it goes away. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I just know that, like,
can I say this?
Well, hold on, I want to finish this.
Sorry.
I just know that if attention is currency, and he does a mean, cruel thing like this, and we give it attention, then we pay him for it. Well, we could really, if attention really is currency, we can see that. And just,
well, how do you feel about this? But wait a minute, Skip. He honestly, in my opinion, he's going bankrupt because now he's doing all of this stuff. He's trying to, work the bureaucracies and bureaucratic processes of the court and stuff like that. Be in and out of appeals and stuff like that. This is done. The man has received, prosecution.
No. I'm not talking about the shooter. I'm talking about the white boy. Because that's what we was talking about, right?
Right. So yeah. The fact that he even has room. Right.
Yeah, the fact that he says it and then everybody wants to talk about it makes people or encourages people to go and listen to the song and hear what he said.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of gives it more country than just, that's tasteless. And then it's not a topic of conversation. We don't engage with it. I don't know if that works or not. I just know that him being a part of the conversation for that, especially considering the way that he will always act if someone brought up his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between, and it's one of the things that people have said about, Drake and all of this, we hate Drake now, is that he doesn't understand that you don't talk about a person's wife and kids. When literally all this music does is talk about people's wife and kids.
Yeah.
All these girls are somebody's daughter. At worst, they just somebody's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could go lower than worst, maybe a step above worst is they're somebody's daughter, but right below that they're a human being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand
why did he I really don't understand why he felt the need to invoke this girl's name.
Because way back in 94 he came out with the Racist Rap Hour. When he was a rapper in Detroit, he and his basement crew used to have a racist rap hour. And they would go in there and make racist rhymes. And when he got put on and was doing all that D12 shit, and I'm from Detroit, and mocking black and mimicking black people, the white boys he left behind leaked his tapes to the source. And they gave his tapes to the source. And I believe it was Nikki Giovanni way back in the 90s. He said, don't get with a black girl because a black girl's a whack girl. Black girls are bitches. Black girls just want your money. I love white girls. I hate black girls. He said it on wax to a beat. And the first person that came out and defended him was Russell Simmons. And they destroyed the career of every single hip hop journalist that wrote on this story. That when the Source magazine put it out, they completely decapitated the editorial staff of the Source magazine. And Dr. Dre and all these hip hop icons, Russell Simmons was like, oh, he was just a young boy who knew no better. So you gave him a pass more than 20 years ago. They gave him a pass. And he's doing songs with Jay-Z and the other biggest artists.
Right.
Eminem is a racist. And just like Kid Rock, before Kid Rock went MAGA, he was on tour with Public Enemy. He was on tour with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they all gave this dude the rubber stamp of black approval. And Kid Rock used to have a high top fade, and he'd put mousse in his hair to make it hard and crispy, go shoot straight up in the air. And he used to pretend like I'm just a skateboard kid who loves hip hop. And the black community embraced this motherfucker. And then he went with, after he was finished, he went full MAGA. When Eminem finally stops being able to sell you sucker ass self-hating black folks his shitty rhymes, he will go full MAGA and right wing as well. And we just keep letting this history reproduce itself. You know, Elvis Presley was doing the twist and in the sock hop with black folks. As soon as he got the bag, he's standing there with Nixon talking about, yeah, lock up the colors. Y'all keep letting this shit happen generation after generation. We should have been through with Eminem and everybody that sanctioned, endorsed, and backed Eminem. All of us. And every time a black artist tried to make a stand, whether artistically, politically, culturally against Eminem, the whole black community would side with this goddamn cracker. So y'all unleashed him. When he give you what you deserve, I don't want to hear nobody complain about Eminem.
And how
the
did
white
that?
folks wouldn't have embraced him if he didn't get the black stamp of approval.
And then, bro, Diallo, how do you think that happened though? Because like I said, I can't listen to nothing.
But see, like,
we don't have
is,
no self-respect. I've been listening to black rock music since I was in middle school, and from Bad Brains, Punk, Fishbone, black people been doing rock music 1,000,001 times better than any white. You give me your favorite white rock band, your death metal, speed metal, black band, and I could point to a black artist that can do it 10 times better. But white folks is like, this is ours, and we don't care how good you do their shit, our shit. You're going to remain in the periphery. We're never going to elevate you above our artists. Black people don't have that essential selfishness of survival.
But
You can get a black dude that could be the best fucking river dancer in the world and let him go on tour in Ireland. And who the fuck you think would show up and watch a black river dancer in Ireland? We're the only people that allow our culture to be fully commodified. Hip hop is universal. Hip hop is universal.
Yeah, but this is what I want to say. That one, I don't think black culture is hip hop. I don't think that.
That too.
I also want us to recognize that, like, we don't own these companies that push these artists. Like, one of the things, I'm a huge Bubba Sparks fan. Deliverance is a fantastic piece of work. I don't care what nobody say. Deliverance is some of the best rapping at a very high level. But one of the ways that Bubba Sparks was reportedly like got put on was somebody was like, hey, we can do this deal, but you got to work with this kid. And that person wasn't black. Black people don't control the industry. We are the talent in the industry.
We control our own damn minds. So I ain't talking about. I ain't.
But see, that's what I'm saying, Diallo. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think it discounts the impact that mass media has on the decisions that people make. People don't know what they like. They like what they know. I'm
not discounting it. I'm denouncing it. Those are two different things.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if everybody is listening to Eminem because the machine has pushed the button on Eminem,
what?
That's what people gonna listen to.
Yes, and we should curse their asses out. Because
I don't disagree.
Eminem. My kids don't listen to no motherfucking Eminem. And I'm not saying now the industry is a different discussion. I'm talking like what did John Henry Clark say? Our Supreme Court is our kitchen table. Our Congress is our picnics. When we can come together as a culture and a community and make some goddamn decisions and pass some laws and legislation amongst our community. Because yes, they always gonna push bullshit on us. But that don't mean we gotta eat it. So I'm at this moment. Now we can talk and have an industry discussion. We could have a mass media propaganda, a CIA, mass manipulation. We can have that discussion. But right now, I'm just talking to black folks. They play that shit on the radio. Turn it the fuck off. If you walk in your kid's room playing it, grab their device and delete that shit. I mean, the resistance starts somewhere. Spit in the pot. If you on the plantation and ain't no uprising, spit in the pot. I mean, those little small acts of resistance is what lead to the uprising. There ain't no Eminem nowhere in my space. So that's all I'm saying. But yes, the industry. Yes, mass manipulation. But yes, mass indoctrination.
That's all I'm saying. Like, so like hearing you say that, like
as a person.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm saying. Like Josephus don't listen to that. Like I don't think I've ever heard an Eminem album. Like I just don't like it. Just don't speak to me.
Nah, I just heard it. So I'm gonna be real with you. Like I'm a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan. I was actually gonna suggest Diallo, BroDiallo, Megan's actually gonna be out here in LA in a few weeks, and you could send me to her performance as research, and I will happily, conduct this research for you. You know what I'm saying? I will wear the most blendy. I will wear an outfit that will blend in with the crowd. I will, there will be no obscurement, to
Infiltration.
the research. Yes, 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 yes. I will. I can do this very effectively in this space. I can do this for you. So,
What's
Brody,
what's the
so
name of her?
I'm
What's the name of her group? Is it the Hotties?
they doing herself
No,
and
no, no. The
Glorilla.
Hotties. Like, ain't that the name of the
Yeah,
girl?
that's her
Okay,
her
yeah, the
people,
Hotties.
her
Okay.
fans, the hotties. So, but anyway, I'm paying attention to that because I'm a big Megan Thee Stallion fan, and like I said, like for me, that issue, that occurrence, or honestly, no, that assault, that Tory Lanez legged against her, and the way that it was responded to in the community, um, that's a huge phenomenon to me, and I think it uncovers, if we assess it, I think we can arrive at an evaluation that makes misogyny kind of more understandable in the community. Um, just like how we deny the denial of, or the incongruency with womanhood and justice. That's a thesis. Right? Because like how we literally did not, despite having hard evidence, we denied this woman evidence to protect this, very mediocre music career. And I just be paying attention to it, and how it's responded to just generally. That was it. That was all I had. I don't want to
Oh,
take up too
nah,
much
right on,
time.
let's get done to see Megan, because
This research, it's important. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Tell them your cash out, bro.
Oh, it's at cash sign Little Ham 94.
Little what?
Little Ham with two M's 94.
Okay, bet. Hey
And
man,
that'll be
look,
a graduation present because I'm graduating and I'm transferring to the Cal States.
Okay,
Getting on
all
that.
right,
Yeah.
Little Ham 94.
Yes, sir.
Audience, let's run this up so that my boy can, you know what I'm saying, like
Do this
do that
research for the community. You know what I'm
and
saying?
um take pictures. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Lil Ham 94.
Mhm.
So he can take pictures. Let's get backstage so he can, you know what I'm saying, also tell Meg that that Skip is a hottie, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes, 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 yes. I will
not really
mention
familiar
Brody.
with the
Bro
music, but
Diallo say
definitely
he's
familiar
saying,
with
yeah.
Meg. If you picking
Mhm.
up what I'm putting down. Hello.
Okay. All right, now Uhuru, y'all. Don't forget September 3rd, and we've got something going on with Black Studies that'll include Chairman Amali and Dr. CBS coming up Saturday on the 8th. Uhuru.
All right, right on to the real. Old dirty kung fu MC and historian. That's real
Yo, what's
talk, bro.
good?
What's happening with you, African?
Man, nothing much, my brother, nothing much. I should say Uncle Skip, man. Hey, I just graduated too with this, so mad happy, man. And oddly
Congratulations.
enough, thank you, man. Oddly enough, I closed out my degree with an essay on hip hop history.
Okay.
And it's kind of dope. I would love to send it to y'all and hear what y'all thoughts is on it.
Hey man,
Uh,
you see that Josephus right there on the
let's see.
screen? Because I
Let me
can't
see
put it
this.
in the chat, but that Josephus right there on the screen, Joecephus, last name Martin, Martin, at gmail.com.
JOECEF JOECEPHUS.
Yep, last name Martin, Martin at gmail.com.
Cephas. Yeah, man, I would love for y'all to get y'all's thoughts on my essay that I wrote, man. Because the crux of it is I used this book called Party Music by Ricky Vincent, and the forwards by Boots Riley.
Okay.
And the book is about the Black Panthers band and how Black Panthers the Black Power movement transformed soul music. And I coupled that with remaking Power, what is it, Remaking Power, How Black Women Transformed an Era. And because it's I forgot the name, I forgot her name already. But it was a woman Black Panther who started basically this the idea of Black people in the arts, putting our radical movement inside of our arts to preserve it in case we start to get while we were getting subverted and co-opted. Our movements were getting subverted and co-opted through COINTELPRO. She came up with this idea of putting our music, our culture inside of our music, right? And it started with that soul music. So it was just dope to see that. But I was looking at like Paris, The Devil Made Me Do It, and
Paris,
running.
oh, goodness.
Yeah, and I was running that parallel to A Tribe Called Quest, because I wanted to like show how you have Paris, somebody whose music wasn't as lumping as Tribe Called Quest. When you go back and you start to really tear apart those lyrics and really look at it, like these brothers were conscious, but they was missing so much of that element, but that Black radicalism that existed.
Conscious.
Good, yeah. Oh, okay.
I think especially Q-Tip. I mean, I think their politics were diluted and weak, and their first
that's what I mean.
Much more introspective and mindful. But I just think they went for like hip hop lyricism, lyrical rapping for rapping's sake. They aggressively departed and tried to avoid being labeled conscious or political.
Right, because they had the Afrocentrism that they were leaning heavy, and that's what I mean by conscious. Like they were.
Didn't Q-Tip say Afrocentric living gets a big shrug?
That was after Low End Theory. That was after he after he converted to Islam.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't label Tribe Called Quest. Their first album, Instinctive Travels, was a masterpiece.
Yes,
it blows my mind to this day. But then when they came out with their consecutive albums, they were magnificent works of art, but as far as the politics, they were severely absent.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. That's basically what I'm highlighting is like, when I say conscious, I'm using it in quotations because people would think that they were conscious because they had this pro-Black, vibe to them. And
not after their second album.
Mm-hmm.
Not after Kobe started taking long vacations.
Right.
With them.
Right.
Instinctive Travels is their only like conscious album, I think.
Mm-hmm. And the newest one was okay. The last one that they came out with was actually okay, but
the Love album.
Still, it's the one with We the People on it.
Yeah.
That one was actually pretty good, but it's just interesting because like I started doing this research and just looking into all this different hip hop, and we really see like after 1988, that how the hip hop industry changed, and like I love what y'all said earlier about the cult. What Skip said earlier about hip hop isn't the culture, and that's what I'm glad he said it, because that's what I was ultimately trying to get to with my essays, that hip hop isn't the culture. Our culture is inside the hip hop.
When it is. All right.
When it is in there, and that's what we're supposed to be able to find it. But after it got co-opted and subverted, which is, you know what I mean? They became masters at subverting and co-opting our movements. So, but I wouldn't even be where I'm at today had it not been for that element being in music, you know what I mean? As well as they've done such a good job at co-opting our movements and our history, and keeping this stuff from us, that a lot of kids, and I'm on 30, a lot of people my age and younger don't know about all the stuff that y'all talking about on BroDiallo show.
Dirty, your connection is wonky.
Me on the board with it was hip hop. It was people like Mr. Liff. I don't know if y'all ever listened to him.
No, I know about Mr. Liff.
Mr. Liff is pretty cool. He got an album called I Rations and another one called I Phantom and another one called Emergency Rations. He's a socialist rapper, scientific socialist rapper.
What is the lifestyle of hip hop? I'm confused about that. I hear this a lot, and as a member of the hip hop generation, I don't know what the hip hop lifestyle is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
money.
I think a lot of times people want. I think people want things to be things, and because they want it to be that, they assume that's what it is. One of the things that I talk about all the time when people like, oh man, rap wasn't like that, and I just say I got a colored TV so I can see the Knicks play basketball. Like, Rapper's Delight was about how good they were living. I don't know if the genre is anything other than what it's always been, and that's selling goods and services. I don't know.
I mean, conscious hip hop was a force to the point where the FBI and other intelligence agencies, to the point where other, tyrannical governments would suppress the art form. So I don't think that hip hop is a culture. It is a component. We know the culture that gave birth to it. Mm-hmm. We know the culture that captured and corrupted it and misdirected it. And, for much of my life, hip hop has been, anti-African propaganda. Yeah. And most of the most famous and wealthiest rappers have been Pied Pipers for mass incarceration. Yep. So I don't know what that means. It sounds good, but it does not translate to reality. Q, you're live with
What's that? Was you African?
What's up?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
How y'all doing?
I'm well.
That's good. That's good. How about yourself, Skip?
Oh man, I'm solid, man.
Yes, sir. So just to kind of follow up with, I guess, theme. I guess my question is, how do we look at rap going forward? And I give Skip a lot of praise because I've been listening to his Miles Garvey project a lot recently, and it was definitely like a different experience that I've had in regards to rap music, meaning that in the album I kind of feel like there it's almost like it's painting a picture, like you feel like you're in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm saying all that to say I don't know what that genre or whatever would be. I consider it like community rap, and I know for like true hip hop heads or quote unquote true hip hop heads, their whole thing is you have to do the history on hip hop and rap. And should that be encouraged, even though we know the problematic things that come with it, like what we're dealing with now with Eminem and the ongoing, things that really don't serve anybody at the end of the day. Do you get what I'm asking?
What I heard you ask is like, how do we get people beyond the radio to like really be critical consumers of art?
Yeah.
Is that what you asked?
Yeah, because like if your son or daughter or whatever wanted to start rapping, not even necessarily to blow up and be mainstream, do you start them out, or do you even introduce them to a Biggie, a Tupac, whatever, or is it just letting them figure out the art form for themselves?
Yeah, I think a chunk of it is them figuring it out for themselves, but like my children listen to all types of stuff, right? Like one of the things that I think is is a real challenge is this idea that I think is most deaf saying that, you know, people talk about hip hop like it's some giant in the hillside. So like, it's some giant in the hillside, and nah, bro, like my kids listen to all the things that I listen to, and the thing that I tell people more times than not is the way that I've been able to be successful is because I've chosen not to play. Right? Like I can't compete with the machine. I can't compete with the algorithm. And because I can't compete with those things, I just don't. I just do my own thing. And the people that find it. And I'm finna brag a little bit. When all of the stuff was going on in Ferguson, when people really started going, my phone started ringing with people being like, yo, I get your music in a different way now. Yo, while we were here, we listened to your music. Sandra Bland happened. Yo, we in this police station and like I'm thinking about a song that you wrote.
Yeah.
I know I'll never be on BET. Like, I think the other piece is that we really have to recognize that, like, there is no meritocracy. Like, the music that's on BET is not on BET because it's so good. Like somebody sitting at a desk pushed a button. And until we can get beyond just believing that, like you don't blow up, bro. Like, they find you useful, and then they'll like give you whatever it is that they think they need to give you for you to continue being useful or for you to become even more useful.
I guess I was speaking more to Diallo's point of, and yours too, as well, Skip, as far as looking at the industry itself and being like, this isn't us. This doesn't represent us. And Diallo said that Eminem doesn't even reach into his immediate circle. So besides looking at it like this white boy doesn't reach into our circle, I guess now, and this is just me thinking about it now, I guess, do we approach it the same way with a Biggie that said some problematic things, or, you know, this rapper that said or is it more of, or do you stick to the more educational side of it, where it's like, you know,
Listen,
they said,
here, let me say this
Go ahead.
about Black people, Black culture, and Black music. We've always had blue music. There has always been blue music in our culture and community.
Mm-hmm.
We are a multifaceted, complex, and very, you know, stylistic, artistic community, culture, race. So even your grandma was listening to salacious lyrics, you know, profane music and profane comedy. Red Fox. They would go get old dirty Red Fox album. MC Blowfly. Now I heard some blues singers say some stuff that came straight out of that Too Short. You think Too Short had some dirty rap, the Freaky Tales? Go listen to some of them old blues albums. You know, go listen to Queen Bee and her albums. And she'll describe in graphic detail about how she pleasures her man. And if you step out of line, and it's 4 more men lined up. So there's never been an issue with Black people having blue music. Even when I was a kid, we'd have a family gathering. They put us to bed, take out the brown liquor, and put on a Richard Pryor album, or put on some other salacious music. Go listen to Prince's music. So there's never been a problem with Black people talking graphically about sex, having joking about unmentionables or even having violent and outlandish code. But the problem is that our culture was captured, weaponized, and redirected. When I came up, hip hop was considered conscious music. Hip hop and conscious hip hop was the same. You didn't have to say conscious hip hop, because if you said hip hop, people thought you were talking about politically charged, politically oriented, politically infused genre of music. And NWA were the upstarts. In fact, if you go and listen to all the old NWA rappers, they sample Public Enemy throughout it. Go listen to 8 Ball, Too Much Posse. NWA sampled all these conscious artists. They sampled Boogie Down Productions because that's all they had to choose from. So I've always listened to gangster rap, but that was always considered the alternative, the blue music, the music that you listen to when you're in the car with your boys. Then when y'all pick up the girls to go to the movies, then you put in the positive stuff, or you put in the R&B stuff that they like. So there's never been an issue. Our problem is that our culture was captured and weaponized against us. That's the problem. Not the fact that we cuss, that we talk about sex, that we put our hands on our knees, shaking ass on our thought shit. Our culture
that's not. I'm not.
Always been present in our culture. That has always been a component of our artistry. But now that we're in a condition where when your culture gets captured and weaponized and turned against you, and the priorities, the focus, the emphasis, like Skip said, they get to handpick. I don't get to handpick for white artists. I don't get to handpick. If I was able to handpick and determine who will trend, who will go platinum, who will be the celebrity. And what a celebrity is not a person with talent. A celebrity is a person who embodies the aspirations of the dominant society and the status quo. If I was able to pick who would be hero, white kids wouldn't be walking around in Charles Manson t-shirts. White kids would be walking around with IWW t-shirts. White people, so the fact that we have to recapture and fight on this war front, and I think that is the issue where we lose. We think we're bad because we make this kind of music. It's not bad that we make this kind of music. It's bad that we've allowed our culture to be captured. And even if it's positive, even if it's pro-Black and uplifting, none of our culture should be captured, controlled, redirected, and monetized by anybody outside of our community. That's where the fight is. The fight is to recapture our culture, not to make sure we make good, positive music exclusively.
Yeah, I'm
sorry if that's not directed towards you.
No, you're good. Yeah. Because I don't want to jump out the window and be like, people shouldn't be cussing at all. I guess when you mention like the Richard Pryors and all, that's like stuff you grow up listening to in the house from your immediate family circle, whatever. So I guess you don't necessarily draw a connection to a bigger industry. So that has me thinking, like, should there be more emphasis on the local artists, because at least there can be more of a community criticism of the music that's being put out. Like when I hear Skip's music, I hear music that is completely supported, nurtured, and cared for, that can be articulated through a rap album.
Yes, because we had one more caller. So let me tell you this. Every Black person should be a self-appointed archivist and self-appointed propagandist. You should collect our cultural wares, and every Black home should be an archive for Black culture, Black literature, Black artistry, and every Black home. And every Black person should see that when you're on social media, when you're in your community, when you're out and about, that you're promoting revolutionary, conscious, radical, progressive components of our culture. Not because that's the only part of our culture that should exist, but that is the part of our culture that is being suppressed and attacked and defamed. So yes, you should be out there. When I was on the radio, local radio here in Chicago, low power AM radio, and I was bumping Skip music and playing skip music a decade ago on the radio here. I promote when I share something online, a picture of my family. I'll put a song by J. Rue the Damager, any type, promote Mr. Lip, no name. We should be out here promoting, sharing, and advocating for. And it's not just local, because nothing's local anymore. In the era of the internet, the cultural, the ideological battle is worldwide. So you can be grabbing music from Sierra Leone, progressive artists from the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Nigeria. It's got a lot of Pan-African art coming and emerging. You should be a conduit to help share, promote, advocate, compliment, support progressive art, progressive media, progressive indie writers. Yes. And everybody, look at yourself as an archivist and a propagandist for Black radicalization, Black liberation, and Black upliftment.
Respect.
You can do it for free with the internet now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you both.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Violet, you'll be our last caller. Question, comment, criticism.
It's just a comment. Can you hear me very well? I'm sorry.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, my throat is kind of jacked right now from these allergies. But in any case, I just want to say, Skip, I really appreciate your music because it's getting me through driving with my 3-year-old. Loves hip hop music. He listens to Bad Brains. He listens to hip hop. He listens to Mos Def, the Black on Both Sides album, and Ciroc is somebody I really want to shamelessly plug as well. There's a lot of really great music out here, but a book that I was thinking about that was really important to me coming into consciousness was Consciousism by Kwame Nkrumah. And even the introduction is just so important for young Black people trying to, or Pan-African Black people, however you want to state it, just to figure out how to unthink being completely like Europeanized in school, to like being just mentally like just, I don't know, body snatched, because you start with all of this philosophical language that just is antithetical to your existence. And I just wanted to shamelessly plug that. And since the young man he mentioned Richard Pryor, I would also suggest reading Fran Ross because she wrote for Richard Pryor. She wrote a book called Oreo, and it's the story of Telemachus as through the perspective of a young Black woman in Philadelphia looking for her father. So I just wanted to shamelessly plug those books. And I'm an avid reader. I read books from everywhere if I can find them. Go to your estate sales, young people, especially find those books, because
go to estate sales in white neighborhoods.
Yes. I'm out here in Massachusetts, so there's a lot of them.
You won't believe how much Black art, how much Black literature and writing they have in these affluent white folks.
They have all of that. Culture. They like hoard our information and make it impossible for us to get these books until they die, and then we have to find them, in houses and on the side of roads. So please support your local estate sales, young people. If you're out there, a lot of these books are very cheap in these estate sales versus when you try to find them out here on these websites. And I mean, that's basically all I wanted to say was just, we have to stay encouraged, and we have to find methods and ways of seeking out who we want to be as people through all of these kind of forms of media, because the propaganda is real, So I used to, and quickly for Diallo, I used to listen to a lot of like really crazy hip hop music when I used to exercise. And I felt like it was really like fucking up my mind. And when I started listening to more conscious music and listening to conscious radio as I was running, I found that it really helped my mind, and it gave me more peace and less anxiety as I was going out in the world, because that music does cause anxiousness. And so just pick up that Kwame Nkrumah book if you're out here searching for something and you're trying to find who you are, and you've been, especially in the university system, because
and also check out another book I didn't get into, but Wise Intelligent, Poor Righteous Teacher wrote a book called The 3/5 MC. And he gives an inside look of the industry and how we came to this state. So 3/5 MC by Wise Intelligent, and Who Stole the Soul, of course, book. I did a book review on Who Stole the Soul, so check that out as well. Every front is we have to fight on every front, and culture and music and artistry is a front in this war for liberation, but they're also fighting to oppress as much as we're fighting to liberate. So we have to intensify our struggle.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I really appreciate the show. I hope there are more like this because, I'm even learning about things as I'm listening and finding new artists. So, I'm about to get off this phone and listen to this Roxanne Shante battle while my son is asleep. So,
okay.
Peace. Peace.
I mean, yeah, listen, I got an immense amount of support, even though Heather B is my favorite female MC. She's my favorite. But I give unbelievable amount of pride. And check out Heather B. Don't Hold Us Back. That's a track.
Will do. Thank you so much, brothers. And I really appreciate both of you. Be well.
All right, sis. Peace.
All right.
All right. And another one. Another one in the tank.
Hey, bro, these folks serious about this book club. We got to figure that part of it out.
Let's make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, I mean, like somebody was like Geechee got one, so
yeah,
like
Geechee got barter and build. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true. So let's figure out how to do
let's make it happen. Rational radicals. I mean, let's expand our minds through using papers. So anyway, I appreciate you, bro. I'm going to start today. Make this EYL Skip Coon live event in Mississippi. Marcus Garvey birthday, August.
Let's do it.
Seriously, I'm already putting the word out, so you done started something.
I bet. Let's do it. That'll be cool, man. See if we get some folks to come out, especially folks around. That'll be cool, man. Somebody hit me up.
All right,
yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, bro. You know the routine. Talk us out, bro.
Hey, man. Thank you for our health. Thank you for our safety, the health and the safety of those that love us and those that we love. Continue to hold us and keep us as we journey, as we learn, as we grow. Keep us in community. Tame our tongues so that we're more eager to listen than we are to speak. Make us mindful of the power that our words and actions have in the lives and experiences of others. Amen.
All right. Ashe, bro. Till next time.
All right, bro.
All right.